Want to lose fat and build muscle at the same time? In this video, I'm going to tell you who body recomposition will work for and how you can do it right. Hi, it's Ivana, helping you get fit, healthy, and strong at any age. I specialize in helping men and women over 35 get leaner. And for many of them, it's body recomposition they're looking for. Build a little muscle and lose fat. We used to think that body recomposition only applied to two groups of people: complete beginners and people who were overweight or obese. But now we have more evidence that other people can benefit from body recomposition as well. If you've had a break due to injury or illness, if you haven't been training consistently and progressively, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what progressive resistance training is as opposed to what most people do at the gym. And at the end, I'm going to talk about the type of training that's most effective for building muscle and reducing your body fat. If you haven't been training optimally, and that means that you're actually pushing yourself to get the most from each session. Most people at the gym are really not putting in that full effort. And that means that they're limiting their growth for muscle and they're limiting the amount of body fat that they can lose. Or maybe you've just taken time off weight training and simply focused on cardio for a period of time. Then you can still do body recomposition when you go back to training with resistance. And the other people who can still do body recomposition is basically anyone who has excess body fat. So if you're very lean already, it's very hard to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. But anybody who is, let's say, 20% body fat or higher, there's still something that you can lose. 20% is quite lean for a woman. For a male, it's not as lean, but you still have that opportunity to do body recomp. Now, as I've gone through those descriptions, you'll probably notice that that means a lot of people. In fact, I think it's the vast majority of people. Very few trainees are consistent and pushing themselves from day to day in each workout. Most people are on and off with their training, so they're not training 3 or 4 or 5 days a week for months or years at a time. They have periods when they might go away, and that means when you go back, you have that opportunity to build muscle and lose fat. Now, the two factors that allow you to do body recomposition, even if you're not a beginner or overweight or obese, is the correct progressive resistance training and evidence-based nutrition strategies. That allows you to increase your skeletal muscle mass and decrease your fat mass. So that's actually how you get leaner. That's what it means. You're improving your body composition. You have more muscle and you have less fat. Let's talk first about progressive resistance training. A lot of people do work out with weights, but they're constantly using the same sets, the same reps, the same weights. They might come in and do chest presses with 35 pounds in each hand, and they continue to do that for weeks and months, day after day, the same thing, the same rep ranges, the same tempo, so that's the pace that you're actually moving through the exercise, and the same rest periods. So if you don't vary any of those things, then you're not going to see optimal muscle growth. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to change it too frequently either, and you do want to maintain a base of all the standard compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, shoulder presses, pull-ups. Those kind of exercises should be the base of your workout. You don't need to be switching completely around in terms of all your exercises, but there are many variations that you can play around with. And if you could only squat 100 pounds at the start, you want to work your way up as you get stronger, even while the exercises remain the same. So you could be doing squats all the time, but you can change those other parameters I talked about: reps and sets, tempo, and rest periods. And that can, again, give your muscles a little bit more stimulation to grow. If you're a complete beginner to weight training, then you might be able to do exactly the same exercises with the same rep range and sets for 3 months before you really need to change in order to get a different result. Now, most people will want to change before that just because of boredom. You might not be excited by those exercises anymore and you need to do a slight change. In my online course, I actually try to change every 6 to 8 weeks. So it kind of works for people who are both beginners, where you want to change from 2 to 3 months, but also for more advanced trainees. So once you've done about 2 to 3 years, then you probably want to change your workouts after about 6 to 8 weeks. However, if you do take time off, like a month or 2 off of consistent weight training, you can take longer before you change your exercises again. The more advanced you are, the quicker you're going to adapt. So if you've been going to the gym for months and you keep picking up the same weights to do the same exercises, 3 sets of 10 of shoulder presses and chest press and squats, then you're not going to get the results that you want. You're not going to optimize your muscle building, and that means that you're not really training progressively. Now I'm going to talk about nutritional strategies that can help you do body recomposition. Diet can influence your body composition completely on its own, but adding resistance training will improve your results further. You may be either in a calorie deficit or you may be eating at maintenance. So pretty much taking in the amount of calories that you would need to maintain your body as it is. But because you're adding weight training and something else, which I'm going to mention in a sec, then you're going to be able to eat at maintenance, but you're actually building muscle and losing fat. Part of that depends on how far you are from your goal and how much fat you have. The more fat you have, the more you can eat at a higher calorie intake and still achieve good results in terms of losing fat while you're building muscle as well. In order to lose fat, but then also maximize your muscle retention, it's important to get in enough protein. And I recommend 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. So if you weigh 170 pounds, up to 170 grams of protein per day. You want to focus primarily on leaner sources of protein so that it can make it easier for you to get into a calorie deficit to lose weight if that's something that's necessary for you. As I said, you could be eating at maintenance as well, but focusing on leaner sources of protein makes it easier to either be at maintenance or slightly below. I generally rely on chicken or fish, turkey, eggs, and low-fat dairy. You can also use vegetarian sources like lentils, beans, edamame, and tofu. And when you put that all together, you want to be able to reach your protein goal. Not only is that protein going to help fill you up and make you more satisfied, you'll have fewer cravings, and that means it's easier to maintain lower calories, which will help reduce your body fat. And while you're doing that, you also want to be doing progressive resistance training in order to stimulate the muscle to stay. Whatever muscle you've got, you want to keep it, and then you want to start to build more. And you need that protein in order to build the muscle as well. Now I'm going to talk about concurrent training, and this is the most effective way of achieving body recomposition. So it's been shown in research that the combination of progressive resistance training, which I talked about, and cardio is most effective at optimizing your body composition. And that means maximizing your muscle mass while reducing your body fat levels. And we usually see that low intensity, steady state cardio, LISS, can help you minimize the muscle loss. So perhaps up to 30 minutes a day of low intensity cardio, and that's just something like walking. For me, walking is highly underrated in terms of exercise. There's a very low barrier to entry. You don't have to have any special equipment, you just move more. And we know that that's not only healthy, but it helps you maintain your weight loss over time. Now HIIT, which is high intensity training, can also be incorporated into your routine if that's something you enjoy. And you can get a good fat loss result in a shorter period of time than with LISS. But it's recommended that you don't do more than 1 or 2 short sessions of HIIT per week in order to avoid losing muscle mass. Because again, we're trying to maximize our muscle mass and reduce as much fat as possible. That's what body recomposition is all about. In order to do that, you don't want to lose any more than 0.5 to 1% of your body fat percentage per week. So if you're starting off at 25%, then you don't want to try to drop all the way down to 20% in a week. It would be very hard to do that anyway, but it's just a rate of fat loss that maximizes your muscle retention. Now, if your body fat percentage is very high, if you're 40 or 45%, then you can lose a little bit more body fat at the beginning, and then you'll need to slow your rate of body fat loss down, which is going to happen naturally because it does become harder and harder as you come closer to your target weight. The less body fat you have, the harder it is to lose more body fat. So let me know in the comments, have you been able to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, and how did you go about doing that? Please hit the like button if this video was helpful. It helps my channel reach more people. And subscribe and hit the bell for more evidence-based weight loss information.